Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome back to the show. Excited for today's little topic. It's a kind of loosey-goosey discussion with some input from us and some input from y'all, the listeners. But this is the very popular K-pop topic of misheard lyrics.
Yes, we have been asking you guys to send us in any misheard lyrics. So over the past month or so, we've collected some samples from you guys and then things that we always heard as well. Like that's what this started as. I feel like I've had this note in my notes app for so long. And I finally get to use it.
Yeah, it's finally time. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I think it will just be like funny because I think that it's funny and interesting that our brains are weird and they try to connect synapses. And if you are listening to something in a language you don't understand, your brain is going to listen for words that it does know. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you hear funny things. So I want to start out with what I think is probably the most common mishearing, which is when people hear curse words in their K-pop songs that aren't there. So this is going to be another tiny Korean lesson about some Korean words that sound like English swears. I think this is interesting because I feel like in some of these examples, or sometimes these words, I feel like the idols or the producers or the writer or whoever wrote the song like is aware that it sort of sounds like a curse. And so sometimes I feel like it's emphasized in a way.
And the wordplay is purposeful because there's definitely some Korean songs that play with Korean curses too, like almost saying something. Like I'm thinking of Boa's Nega Dola, and there's like a verse that starts with her saying like aish, like she's gonna curse in Korean, and then it goes into something else. So this could definitely be a cheeky, I think it fits, especially in some of these examples. It like definitely fits.
For sure. So the first Korean word I came up in our last Korean for K-pop fans episode because it is such a popular term. But just to reiterate, this is the word 빛, or light. It means like light, shining, sparkling. But that word by itself is very rarely by itself. And in Korean sentence structure, if you were making the light the subject of the sentence, you would put e after it. And since it ends in a chiot character, you carry that sound over. So it becomes beach, beachy. So it sounds like bitch.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the biggest examples of this is in Jennie's solo debut, Solo. Bitch, 나는 solo. And I believe that clip very purposefully sounds like bitch going solo because it was like, but it is 비치 나는 solo, which means like I'm shining solo. But the way she says bitch is so like pointed.
I totally agree. And when we learned this song in our dance class, I had not heard it outside of class and immediately thought that it was bitch. And I was like, wow, Jennie's getting like, this is like a catty solo debut. Yeah. Like, fuck you guys. Like, bitch, I'm solo. And I like really thought it sounds very, I hear it. I hear it.
It's definitely there. And a listener sent in one where they heard it as well. In Wanna One's song Light in the chorus, as heard here. Listener Isla thought this sounded like bitch down on the door control. And it does kind of sound like that. But there's a very long sentence in there. And peachy is what it starts with, which is the light. But the way that they're fitting, like the part that sounds like door control is actually 더 밝혀줘. But they're saying it in such a like crazy fast way. I totally get why you heard that listener. But yeah, in that song too, it's starting the sentence with the like bitch. And it sounds like cursing.
Because it's a very punchy word. It's like a punchy syllable.
For sure.
And it's one of the only words in English that sounds that way. So for native English speakers, like, we don't have a lot of associations with that sound other than bitch.
Sure.
Unless you know people who have accents and you take them to the beach.
Exactly. Yes. For sure. The next one, which I love, is the Korean word shit. And this means like shush, but it has a T sound at the end. Shit. Like shit.
Shit.
And my favorite example of this is in FX's song Rum Pum Pum, as heard in Crystal's line here.
shit, too many, shit.
What she said was shit turmane shit, which just means shush, be quiet, shush. Like they say it 3 times. But the way that she goes, shit, I've always thought was like very, like, Crystal is from California.
Yeah, Crystal
And I,
speaks
like-
English. She knows the word shit.
And so I always felt like she was saying that very, like, there's always an eyebrow raise on it too. Like, hee hee hee.
Yeah, it's like cheeky.
Yeah. So that's one that you might hear, and I just always think that's funny because that's like peachy, like kind of sounds like bitch in a certain, but that the word is sheet. That's the word.
Yeah.
And I think that's funny. Yeah. So if next time you're listening to a K-pop song, listen carefully to find out if they are saying light or shush, or if they are saying bitch or shit, because you never know.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of Korean broadcasting stations don't edit out English curse words. Like, they will
Never.
just play music that has, like, the worst lyrics, but they're in English, so they, like, don't care or don't know. So if a K-pop group, like, snuck in an English curse word, they could probably still do it on music.
Yeah, probably. All right, so now it's time to get into some of our personal misheard lyrics and some that we got from you guys. So the first one that I feel like sparked the first phone note is one that I have thought for as long as I have been a K-pop fan. And this is from the A-Pink song, No, No, No. I always heard ham sandwich, but specifically spelled in Korean like ham sandwichy at this part. But I learned today, because I had literally never looked it up, that this one has a beat in it too, because it's Hansang Bichi is what they're saying. Hansang Bichi, which is always the light. Like, you've always been the light in my life. Not ham sandwich at all.
But in
Even
your
starts with a
defense,
B.
It does start with a hem, and there is a ichi sound in it.
For sure.
It's got the beginning and the end.
Yes. But truly, for like 8 years, as long as I can remember, I always just sing ham sandwichy. Like, always. That's what happens at that part. I don't know.
Well, there's a few of mine on here that are perhaps more embarrassing, so it's okay.
Yeah, and apologies on all of these for like anyone who had never heard these before, because I feel like with these kinds of misheard lyrics, some of them, once you hear them, you can't hear them a different, like, it gets,
Yes.
your brain can't undo it.
Yeah, so apologies in advance if one of these you can never unhear. But if we had to hear it, you have to hear it.
That's how this show works. So this next one is definitely one of those where I feel like I wouldn't have heard it because this is a simple Korean phrase, but once I heard it in a meme video, I could never unhear it. And this is in Twice's Heart Shaker. People here, is Sana gay? If you don't know, there is a member of Twice whose name is Sana, so like there's that part too of it, like, but she's actually saying 이상하게, which means like strangely. 이상 is strange, 하게 happening, so it's isanghage. But there's lots of Twice meme videos where it's just isanghage, and that makes me laugh.
That is
Because
really
it's
funny.
usually followed by a very gay clip of Sana after that. So, I mean.
Yeah, the fandom jokes are, like, I have a couple of those too. And yeah, you just can't ever unhear them. but they're funny and they always make me giggle.
This next one is one that I'm curious if other people know that it isn't the word that they think it is, because I feel like this is one of the examples where it could so clearly be an English word, and it's almost strange that it isn't. And that is in SF9's song, Now or Never. Many people hear the main chorus word to be jealous. Baby, don't be so jealous. But it's not jealous. It's jirasa, which means I screamed. So like that, baby, like the line that I thought was "baby, don't be so jealous" is "baby, kogiso jirasa," which means like I screamed over there or in here. I screamed in here.
Yeah.
But the way that because they say it so like jealous. Like you can totally hear it as just like jealous, baby, don't be so jealous, because like that's kind of the like.
It's the vibe of the song, and it's like low and husky. And I know when this comeback happened, that's what I heard too the first time around. And it wasn't until I noticed the lyrics in the corner that those lyrics were in Hangul. I was like, oh, that's not the word jealous? Like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's not the word jealous.
And then in those moments, you question everything.
Yes. And speaking of questioning everything, like, again, this is a song where, like, I saw that and I know that word to mean scream past tense. And that's what it means in the dictionary. Like, jirasa means screamed. But every single lyric video, lyric translation, anything from this song has it as I did it. And I was like, but that's... So I'm very lost. Maybe somebody who speaks better Korean than me, this is some kind of like idiom I'm not understanding. But I understand it to mean I screamed, which I also think is so great for the vibe of the song. Because again, it's so like low and emo, and to be like, and I screamed, I did everything I could. And like,
yes. And I particularly really liked that translation of it because they say that line very, very quietly. And I thought the juxtaposition of like almost whispering the phrase I screamed was so cool. I really loved that comeback. So I hope it does mean I screamed.
I hope it does too, because I think that's better. Yeah. So anyway, that's a fine, now or never.
Comment below if you have the answer to this question.
Next on the list is, I think, probably one of the most popular unheard lyrics in all of K-pop. Yeah. And this is from the 17 performance unit song, right? It's just them.
They have a 13-member version, but it was originally a performance unit song, yes.
And the song is Highlight. And the 8 has a line that is famously interpreted by fans as, I'm like a bird, not a turkey. Let's hear it. And what do you think? I'm like a bird, not a turkey. He's actually saying, I'm like a bird, narakaike, which means I will fly. I'm going to fly. So I'm like a bird, I'm going to fly. Makes perfect sense. But also, I'm like a bird, not a turkey, kind of makes sense too, because I know wild turkeys can fly, but like the big fat ones we eat on Thanksgiving can't fly. So like that's
true. Domestic turkeys don't fly. And also in the United States, turkey is like a dated insult, and it has the connotation of like, don't be such a turkey, right? Or like whatever. It's like a
there's no fun.
Yeah, like you're not a fun, or you're like a whatever, you're lame. And so it also makes sense to be like, I'm not a turkey. But yeah, R.I.P. Ming Hao, in the sense that like I have several of your lines on here, and like you do really well with it. You've learned a lot of languages. Good for you. I'm so sorry that people misunderstand you so often.
That's not his fault. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
He does his
but
best.
I do sing that every time. I think that's like one of those jokes that I heard like right at the beginning and was like, well, that's in my brain now.
That's what it is.
I'm like a bird, not a turkey. It's perfect.
All right. This next one came from a listener, and it has some backstory. So I will play the clip from Red Velvet, and then I will read so this is from Red Velvet's Body Talk, and this came from Morgan. So Morgan writes, when I first heard the sound Anirago for the first time, I immediately understood it as An Hidalgo, which is a real person, a French-Spanish politician, and the mayor of Paris since 2014. I knew that hearing the name of a French person in a Korean pop song could not be anything more than a product of my imagination. And I'm not from Paris. I don't live in Paris. I don't care about Anne Hidalgo, frankly. So why? Body Talk is still one of my favorite songs from Red Velvet, my old group, by the way. But this Anne Hidalgo moment always gives me a bit of embarrassment despite being amazed by how perfect it fits. I'm always torn between singing that part super loud or just waiting for it to go away and pretending Wendy never said that. It's confusing but fun. So to explain what our dear listener heard was not a French politician's name, but the Korean phrase "Anirago," which is to explain. Ending a phrase in "rago" is quoting a command. So by itself, saying "anirago" is like, "I told you not to." In the sense, in this Red Velvet part, it's translating your eyes are saying that you're not listening to me. So the eyes are actually being quoted here in the sentence. It's like your eyes said
your
that.
Your eyes are saying, I told you no.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that phrase, "anirago," I always hear it in Hyuna's voice because like both of my Hyudon videos have her snap. She says that to Dawn a lot. "Anirago. Anirago. I said no." Because he's very pesky. So I thought that was funny because it does
I love
fit.
that.
Like,
it does sound like Anne
Hidalgo.
Hidalgo. Yeah, it does.
So thank you, Morgan, for that. All right. This next one is also from a listener. This is from Michael. And Michael hears a German word in the BTS song Boy in Love. And I'm going to play the clip of how this German word is pronounced so I don't butcher it.
Gemäuer.
Yeah, so this is a German word.
Gemäuer.
That means walls, old buildings, or ruins. And I always hear it at this part in Boy in Love. So here's the part in Boy in Love. And it does sound exactly the same. The Korean phrase there is gemoya, which means, what's this? But gemoya and kemoya, like, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, the phonemes are the same. That's awesome. That's wild.
So I thought that was really interesting. And that's a pretty common, kemoya is like actually pretty common. So I bet it's in other songs too. But that I loved that. I wanted exactly things like that. Like, what's a weird word that isn't English, but you hear it in the K-pop? So thank you, Michael.
Okay, this last one is the only misheard lyric I had where I misheard Korean. And so this is from Super Junior's Sorry, Sorry. I always hear the chorus as, want you naked, naked, naked. But it's actually this. The Korean phrase, like, I know that, like, the part that I hear as want you naked, naked, naked is actually in the middle. It's like the end of one of the lines with the middle of the other. So there's no excuse for, like, I know it's not that. But it sounds like someone with a Texan accent saying naked. Yes. And that's what I hear. Anyway, the Korean is I first. I fell for you, because the neka, neka, neka is me. I.
Yes.
Whatever.
Myself,
so yeah, it was just one of those things. I heard it once and I can never unhear, and I still sing it like that every time the song comes on because it fits.
It does fit, and I think that
song.
you are not the only person that thinks that. I feel like lots of people think that.
Great.
And that song was like so internationally popular, and I bet tons of people heard I Want You Naked, because that makes, like, that's what would be in an American pop song. So
yeah, right?
Why wouldn't
there's
they be
so many
that?
pop songs that have I Want You Naked. I mean, there's also some K-pop songs that have that
there
too.
are actually.
Taeyang. I want you naked. Oh, such a good song. Okay, so the rest of these, let's call it a bonus round, because these are misheard lyrics that are misheard English lyrics. I don't know why all of the lyrics that I had on my notes, I didn't realize that they were all English until I wrote them down.
I think that this isn't crazy to think about, because when my husband asked me today, like, what is your episode about today? And I told him misheard lyrics, and he thought like, oh, when the English comes in and you like don't understand it or don't recognize it as English. And I was like, not exactly, but also maybe yes. And I feel like it makes more sense because in most of your examples, there is an English word in the phrase somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I think that is your brain hearing a word that it recognizes and looking at the words before and after it and trying to make connections.
Yeah, and
so
trying
it's
to
not
hear it.
Crazy, I think, that you misheard all of these things, because the juxtaposition of the English being close, I think, makes your brain want to make it make sense more.
Yeah, and I also think on some level, my brain, when listening to K-pop, is like, well, I don't expect to understand any of it. And so when my brain does hear an English word, maybe it just like randomly fills in the blanks. Or maybe I just don't know what anybody's singing about ever, which is also possible.
Maybe true.
But anyway, my first one brings me much shame, and I have to like I'm sorry, world. But I heard this immediately. As soon as the first time I ever heard this song, I hear it every time. It's fine. I still love this song. I listen to it all the time. In Shiny's Married to the Music, I hear the phrase right at the top. Racist girl, beautiful lady. But it's actually Jong singing this. Which is him saying race skirt. It's him saying lace skirt. Because the whole line is white high heels, slightly covered lace skirt. And all of it is in Korean except for lace skirt. And I had never looked that up before today, and I died a little. I'm so embarrassed, but I still hear it.
I hear it too.
Racist girl, beautiful lady.
And I think it's not your fault, because I do feel like the syncopation choice here is crazy, because he says lace skirt, beautiful lady. Like the skirt comes in for a second.
Yeah, and he takes lace, which in English is a one-syllable word, and he makes it almost three. Race. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm sorry, everyone. But my next one is also Jong speaking English or singing English.
Hey,
so I am blaming Jong and his refusal to care about his English pronunciations. And that's fine.
He took a lot of liberties.
He sure
with
did.
pronouncing anything and everything, really.
True.
And I think as a singer, I admire that. I think, you take the vowels how you want.
Yeah.
If you want to like really sit on that R, like do it. That's what he did. I'm just saying. So
yeah,
we can blame him a little bit.
He had a lot of fun with it. So my next one, I actually have two from the same song. Jong's song, She Is. There is both a part where I think many people hear this, oh shiz. And also, I like this bitch.
I like this bitch.
The actual lyrics are, oh, she is, like the title, and I like this bridge, because he's introducing the bridge of the song. And the composer, I think he was the composer. I don't remember like what his composer,
from the
producer,
team
whatever.
Somehow.
Somebody who wrote this song with Jonghyun recently said that the original lyrics were "oh shit," but Jong changed it so that the song wouldn't be banned and it could be like played on the radio. So it is supposed to sound a little bit like "oh shiz," but then I like this bridge or I like this bitch. He just like throws the word bridge away. I like this bridge. And like all you hear is the b and the ch, and like your mind goes to bitch. And also
he's also doing that. He's also doing that TikTok boy vocal fry that those boys on TikTok do. So it's like, I like this bridge.
I like this bitch. Anyway, I like it. I always sing I like this bitch.
I always sing "oh shiz" very confidently because I specifically remember like trying to get away with adding that to my vocabulary somewhere in middle school to like get around cursing around my parents, and I feel like my mom thought it was too close and didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I tried to just be like, "oh shiz," and do that to not get in trouble. So
just like Jung.
Exactly.
Okay, so this next one, this is why I apologize to Minghao earlier, because this is something I saw in a meme video when I was first getting into 17, and I've never been able to unhear it. It is from 17's like really, really early song, Diamond Life. And the lyric I hear, and many others hear, is "slick bean to the time of life." Slick beans to the time of life. Slick beans to the time of life. But it's actually, again, in English, "slip into the diamond life," because the song is called Diamond Life, so obviously, sure, right? But the way that he says, like, "sleep bean to the diamond life," he, like, does the, I think that's where they get the bean. Yeah. Anyway, oh, it's really, really stupid. But it's one of those things I have never forgotten. Yeah. So it made the list. The next one's also 17.
17's very guilty here.
They are very guilty, but also when I was listening to this again, like when I was pulling the clip for this, I was like, it really is pretty clear what he's saying. I think it's just like the very first time I heard it. And sometimes when they sing this song live, he slurs it a little bit more. But anyway, the song is Trauma, and I hear Mingyu's line as "trauma, fucking trauma." But it's actually this. He says, "trauma, stuck in trauma." But, you know, those syllables are very, very similar. And he has a tendency, he already, like in the recording, sings it gravelly, but then when he sings it live, he sings it even more growly. And so it just kind of swallows the st, and all you hear is the uckin trauma. Sure. So, you know, and trauma. Fucking trauma, I mean, that fits in the song. I'm in trauma, fucking trauma. Whatever, that fits.
Yeah. I know this wouldn't be the case with 17 because they write all of their stuff, but I also wonder if in some of these cases, it's a matter of trying to, like, match a rhyme scheme to an English demo. Like, because like we said, if "oh shiz" was "oh shit." Yeah. Or, like, "call me baby" was "call me daddy" in its demo version, or things like that. I wonder if, like, you know, a fucking becomes a stuckin'.
Yeah. Stuckin'. Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe Mingyu originally wrote "fucking trauma," and then they were like, well, we obviously can't say that, so, like, what else could we say? Yeah, maybe that was how it started.
It's possible.
I don't know.
And then I feel like in those times where they've been, like, made to not curse, or they know that they are cheeky cursing, then they do lean into it more. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I think that's a thing. For sure. It definitely happens. Because, like, I mean, and everybody knows, like, Taeyeon, for example, like, whenever Taeyeon does, I will never remember the encore. What is the name of the fucking song right now? She has a song right now, or she has a song that has a "no thanks, baby" in it, and whenever she does it live, she says, "fuck you, baby." Like, she always does that because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. And when you're in your own concert, you can get away with more shit. So
exactly.
Why not? Let idols say fuck.
New hashtag.
Okay. These next two are not really misheard lyrics. It's more of just like misremembered or misinterpreted lyrics, because when we were learning both NCT's 127, Seventh Sense, and Whiplash, there is a line, I think it's Mark both times.
It's Mark both times.
I think, yes. And so, anyway, the line is this in Seventh Sense. And that's a long ass ride. And this in Whiplash. Girl, long ass ride. But our dance teacher, through the, like, course of saying it over and over again when we were doing the moves, it became Big Ass Girl. It went from long ass ride to Big Ass Girl. And it's
a Big Ass Girl. Like, that was when we were doing the count.
Big ass girl. And And we like was the first time she ever said it. I remember we laughed and we pointed it out because there were only like 7 of us that stuck around
everyone
for
in
that.
class bailed for 7 cents. We like did it as truly like
7,
like you, because there were only 5 of us or whatever the.
Oh,
fuck
that's right. That
left.
one's in CTU. I credited 127 at the beginning. Shame on me.
It's fine.
Anyway,
but yes, we like made
yeah.
a big deal out of it the first time she said it, and she was like, "Oh, what did I say that?" But then she said,
But then
it
she
every
just
time
said it
after, and
every
we
time.
just
Yeah,
laughed.
it was like a Freudian
Just
slip or
kept it.
whatever, and it just is what she thinks those lyrics are, and I love it. It makes me laugh. But it's also kind of weird, and I thought it was a little bit surprising that they say ass in an NCT song anyway. But you know, their raps are full of random ass shit. So
Yeah. I think
I will
that's
never-
a funny
I think-
standard. Long ass ride is a funny thing to make like one of your.
yeah, and that
One
they
of your
use
signature
that they use it
phrases.
repetitively. It's really funny.
And that's a
Yeah.
long ass ride.
That's a long ass ride. All right. Okay.
I mean, it is a long ass ride. It's fine. I get it.
Life. Life is a long ass ride. If you're lucky, Mark. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. This next one also made me laugh very hard. This is also from our listener Michael in Germany, and this is from an AT song called "Good Lil Boy." And in this clip that I'm about to play, Michael hears "Everything is just a mon bebe," like the name of the Monsta X fandom.
Everything is just a moment, baby.
And I don't know about you, but I don't hear anything else. I'm pretty sure he said everything is just a mom bebe. Apparently it's moment bebe. But I hear mom bebe. So
I'm
Michael,
pulling it
you're
up
not
right
wrong.
now. Hold on.
Click it.
I clicked it.
Everything is just a moment, baby.
Yeah. Everything is just a moment, baby. Because he doesn't say
Moment.
meant. Yeah, he says everything is a moment, babe, I guess. Everything is a moment, baby. Yeah, I like that better.
Mon bebe.
Everything is a moment, baby.
It should be, right? And then the last one I have on our list is again a bonus because this is a misheard Chinese lyric that I've always heard in my baby Lay's second solo song, which was called "What You Need." And at this little moment here, I always hear him saying, "Ooh, fuck." And I don't know any Mandarin, so unlike the Korean ones, I couldn't analyze to know what he actually said. But luckily, our sweet Angelica has been starting on her Mandarin learning journey, so you found it.
I found it, and what he's actually saying is "wo wu fa kang ju ni wang," which means I'm unable to resist. But he goes "wo wu fa kang jin," whatever. So he like definitely emphasizes it a little bit.
So I can't
For
not
sure.
hear it. And it goes with the vibe of the song so well for him to just
Yeah.
be like,
Ooh, fuck. Yeah. Wo wu fa kang ju ni wang. The only word in that sentence I know is "wo," which means I.
great job. You did a good job.
Thank you.
No, but it at least makes me feel better that like phonetically, like ooh fuck is
Yes,
in there.
it is in there.
At least I hear that part
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, so those were our list of misheard lyrics that we could come up with. I have a feeling that now that we have said this and recorded this, every song I hear for the next 2 weeks is going to remind me of another one of these. So I'll have to start a new list and we could do it again next year.
We'll definitely do a part 2 because I know also that as soon as this episode comes out, people are going to be like, "Oh no, I forgot to send you my lyrics." And we're going to get so many. So if you have other misheard lyrics, do me a favor. Don't post it in the episode discussion channel of the Discord. Email it to us so that we can do a part 2.
We'll save it for next time. And also, I just want to say, in conclusion, don't feel, I want everyone to not feel guilty about ever mishearing Korean lyrics or not understanding things, because if you ever watch a single episode of the variety show Amazing Saturday, you will learn that even native-born Korean speakers don't fucking understand K-pop music. That's the entire premise of the show, is they just play a song out loud and everyone has to transcribe it, and it takes them the whole hour and a half to figure out what the lyric is. So it's not you. It's not
such an
you.
entertaining show too. So like if you've never watched it, please do. I'm sure a lot of the jokes or whatever, like some of the humor is lost in translation because we don't get the
they're doing
homophones or
wordplay
whatever.
and fun
yeah,
things,
but
yeah.
it is still entertaining even as someone who doesn't speak the language.
Yeah, so there's a consolation and a recommendation for you.
And honestly, like, don't feel bad for misunderstanding lyrics anyway, because like if you listen to Ariana Grande, like what is she saying? I don't know. I can't hear. Lyrics are hard to understand sometimes. People, like you were saying, singers slur those words sometimes.
Yeah, people make their choices.
Whatever. Yeah. Sometimes you can't hold the note out as an ah, and you got to make it an eh or whatever.
Yeah, that's my whole beef with hip singing.
I know.
that it's
Okay,
popular.
that's a whole other tangent. And it doesn't, well, actually, sometimes it does come up in K-pop, but that's not for today.
But the word heart is not said hoit, but fine, it is. That's what we're at now. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway. All right, we'll be right back with the random game.
Attention K-pop shoppers. K-Star Music LA is the newest spot in Los Angeles to get all your favorite K-pop goodies. You can visit them at 3500 West 6th Street in Los Angeles or shop anytime at kstarmusic.online. And listeners have asked me about K-pop get a special free gift when you use code KSTAR with AMA at checkout. So whether you have albums to pre-order, light sticks to collect, or just need some more Kakao Friends plushies, you can always visit K-Star Music in person or at kstarmusic.online.
All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator chose for us current girl group from SM Entertainment, Red Velvet, mentioned earlier in the episode as Morgan's favorite group.
Yes.
Look at you conjured it.
Anne Hidalgo.
So Red Velvet is a South Korean girl group formed under SM Entertainment, and they debuted in 2014. They debuted as a 4-member girl group with Irene, Seulgi, Wendy, and Joy, and then later added 5th member Yeri for their second comeback.
Yeah, always interesting when a group decides to do that.
But so far, Red Velvet has released 2 full studio albums, a repack of that studio album, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 EPs. Is that right?
Oh,
1,
wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, no, 11. 11 EPs so far, it seems like.
Yeah, wow. They also have
they do have a lot of music.
They have a lot of music, and they have 23 singles and 22 music videos. So that's wild. 22 music videos, that's really a lot. But yeah, they've been on a little bit of a hiatus because after their most recent comeback, which was Psycho, Wendy got injured, which we mentioned on the show when it happened. But she recently came out with a solo, and in the meantime, like Irene and Seulgi had a little subunit, so we are waiting patiently.
Yes, and I
for
believe
something to
recently
happen with these
announced
girls.
that Joy will be putting out a solo album of covers. Like, speaking of a couple episodes ago, Joy's going to put out a cover album. So, like,
Fun.
more Korean covers from Joy.
K-pop Remade Part 2.
Yes, but I think everybody is, very much anticipating a Red Velvet comeback. But, we all know how SM and their girl groups go. So,
Yeah.
you can't hold your breath too hard. But Red Velvet is interesting in that I feel like they have a kind of fun concept that they have managed to, I think, in the way that SM really drops concepts a lot. I do think that
Red Velvet is stuck with theirs.
Keep Red Velvet's, which is that there would be 2 sides to the group, the red side and the velvet side. And I always confuse which is which because I feel like I'm always wrong. But one is like supposed to be dangerous and sexy, and one is supposed to be like very aggro and weird.
Yes. Yeah. They have this like a double-sided like a person who will allure you and can be like cutesy and fun, but will murder you if they have a chance. And they have a lot of
murder
murder
part is
in
pretty
their music videos, which I always enjoy.
Yes, always down for a murderous, witchy girl group, which they totally are.
Yeah, they're a group that does great spooky concepts all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Red Velvet is great. I think Red Velvet should do more. I think that SM should do more with Red Velvet.
I mean, they're all fantastic. Like, they're all good vocalists, although they do have, like, what do they have? 2 rappers? I know Yeri is not the only one who raps, but that is her main job. But they're, like, incredible dancers. Like, Red Velvet is famous for their incredibly difficult choreography. They are the only dance that makes our dance teacher tired, and she's a champion bodybuilder. Yeah, they're just, like, I feel like they are they have a really, really good reputation for like being a good, consistent group that puts out great music. But, you know, SM sucks. So,
yeah. But they've been honored in some cool ways. Like they were the group that got to go to North Korea and like perform and like do a big old peace ceremony thing. That was pretty exciting. And I was excited because I got to talk to my nieces about Red Velvet at Christmas because they're in the Trolls World Tour movie, which is very popular with the kids.
Wow. Interesting. I did not know they were in the Trolls World Tour movie.
Are.
Well, good for you, Red Velvet. Get those young kids in your fandom.
Yeah, because I haven't
be
seen
a rebel
it, but
love.
people say that it's good, and I do appreciate a good kids animated movie. But apparently, I think the plot is that like there's like some rock trolls, and they want to make like heavy metal rock the only music, and so then this other troll has to go try to find like other music to try to beat the loud rock trolls. And so like they are the K-pop trolls. World. Yes, and the Red Velvet is the K-pop trolls, and they all got to be like a little animated troll.
So Red Velvet got to be like the representative of K-pop in this movie. That's really cool. Good for you, ladies.
So that's exciting. And obviously we will probably definitely do a Red Velvet deep dive someday because they have for sure made their mark on the K-pop world, and we sincerely hope they will continue to do so.
Yes,
time.
Here's hoping we get to do a deep dive on their 10th anniversary.
Yes, good wishes. All right, so their most popular music video at the moment is their music video for Bad Boy, which came out 3 years ago. And it currently has 317 million views. Yeah. All right, let's get this queued up. I'm going to try not to dance too hard because this is a dance I can never forget.
A dance. Yeah, this is a dance we know. It is a dance I hope I remember. This one, I feel like sometimes I get this one and Move. I need to like just practice those on once a week.
Because you know they're in there.
I know they're in there, and I don't ever want to lose them. I know Move is still in there like 90%.
Yeah, okay,
but
good.
I need it to be a full 100.
All right, got my video queued up. When I say go, press play. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, they're sitting in an empty hot tub, and it's raining. And snowing.
Yes, this has like a couple different sets, and the main dance set is in like this, I don't know, like ice canyon.
Yes, it is canyony, but it's kind of like pink and it's like snow. It feels unnatural. I always thought this music video took place in space. Like, I don't know, it just like doesn't feel like Earth.
It does look like another planet for sure. But it cuts between a lot of scenes. Like here they're just doing the dance in front of like mannequins and neon lights.
Yeah, but they have spooky green contacts on that make them look kind of werewolfy because they're like glow. And they just like lit some avocados on fire. And they have scary tools. And I don't know, there's like flashes of weapons just for like a second. And it's like, uh-oh, are these girls committing a murder maybe?
Yeah.
They're usually committing a murder.
They usually are.
I love these looks.
Yeah, I love all of the outfits in this music video, and the main look for this is that all of them wear different, like all black outfits with like mesh and fishnets, and some of them, like in some of the stages, they would wear like fur. And they just looked like a gorgeous coven.
Yeah, I when we did this dance, I pretty closely was able to recreate Irene's outfit, and I wore the big bow and everything, and it really was a good time. I loved this dance. Woo! Yeah, but they just look very hot, and they all have like dark hair. And
Yes, I like that they all have really dark. Yeri has lighter colored hair, I think, but for the most part, they all have dark and like long. Yeri's a little bob. She's the only one that's a little different. But they're just like, I don't know. They're on like a murderous ski vacation, I guess.
Yeah, because it's like definitely snowing, but they don't seem cold.
They don't seem cold, and they're all like sleeping in one bed, and they have like a suitcase. They packed up all their weapons. Red Velvet is always very queer baity, and I never know if I like it.
Hey, some people liked. I've gathered that some people really like to be baited and they eat it up, and other people are questionable.
I do like to be baited sometimes. I think it works for Red Velvet. There are times when I see it and I'm just like, I won't take this bait. But
no,
I do think it like fits with Red Velvet's concept of being like a lesbian coven.
A little Sappho and her friend, a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like a nice, like, you know, a little bisexual coven where they seduce men for power, but we love women. I like that. I can get on board with that.
Sure. That it keeps flashing away from it, but the Luke where Joy just has a bra and that big like fur.
Yes, and the big fur
thing is so cute.
Yes.
Yay! Oh, Irene woke up. Oh, they're
looking.
They're judging us.
And
Look
then
at how
blood
they're
on the
at
ground. Yeah, or on the screen. I guess it's paint,
So
but
judgy.
it's red, so it looks like blood. Oh, Red Velvet.
Yay,
Love
Red
you.
Velvet.
They're so incredible. Their whistle notes and their harmonies. I love them so much.
Yes, let's all manifest a 2021 Red Velvet comeback right now. All right, it's weekly recommendation time, and I feel like we're both probably going to talk about the same. Like, I feel like we just want to talk about the same thing, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just get it out of the way right now that like today, or if you're listening to this, like Taemin's new album has dropped, and like we sure have a lot to say about that. But next week is Taemin deep dive time, so I say stay tuned.
We're gonna save all of our advice thoughts. We'll save all of our advice for next week.
But right now, I want to talk about a journey that the two of us have been on the past couple of days, which is our journey into becoming baby Ujongs.
Which is the fan name for WJSN, the Cosmic Girls.
The Cosmic Girls!
They have snatched us, body and soul. Bewitched us, body and soul. That's the Pride and Prejudice line. It all started with subunit WJSN The Black, which came out, I think, last week with their, they have a single, I think it's just a single, but it does have a B-side if you buy it. It's called Easy, and it has 4 of the WJSN members, Eshi, Bona, Sola, and Onso. And we are so obsessed with Easy. WJSN The Black is like, wow, one of my favorite things. Definitely, I think Shiny and Timmy not included, my favorite thing that has come out all year long.
Yeah.
I listen to it all the time. I am currently learning the dance. I want to do it with like 5 different suits. It's sexy. It has a suit dance every time. The choreo's so good. Like, wow, I can't say enough phenomenal things.
Deep,
about
funky bass.
Oh my God,
gorgeous,
it's so funky.
whispery lyrics. And like, yeah, they look insane in every stage. Just beautiful. The choreography, Leah Kim production from 1 Million Dance, like flawless as always.
Do yourself
it's so
a favor.
Sensual and like,
yes,
but also very strong. I don't know.
Yes, and it has a lot of well, one of the things we both immediately really liked about it is that it has a lot of jacket choreo, because like I said, it's a suit dance, but the jacket choreo is like specifically meant to be used for mostly like an oversized jacket, and they do a lot of specific moves in the choreography that I think you more often see in boy group choreo.
Specifically the angry shoulder
The angry
reveal.
shoulders, yes. But they do it in a way that is not like, it's not masculine at all, but it's very like tough and very like confident and like sort of like aggressively sensual. It's really, really good. But if you have only watched the stages or the music video, make sure you also look for either the 1 Million Dance video or the performance version, because the choreography that they do on the music shows is edited after the
It was
rap
too
verse.
It had too much butts on the floor.
Yeah, they
so
did too much stuff on the floor, which I thought was kind of surprising, because after we got so into the Black Easy, the Easy. After we got so into this, we decided to do like a little Cosmic Girls deep dive,
little mini
and
deep
they
dive on
have
ourselves.
one of their I don't think it was Unnatural, but maybe the one maybe it is Unnatural. The one that came before Unnatural. Yeah, not Unnatural. The one that came before it, maybe. Whatever. There's one of their choreos where they get like on the ground and then they do like a bridge, like pose, like up, like they do like sexy, like sort of like hip first choreo before. So I was surprised that they had to change some of the floor stuff that they do in the Black. But anyway, just make sure that you watch every version that is available, because they're all good.
Yes, they are all good. And yeah, we've been trying to like learn all of their names. And as is tradition for us, we immediately got attached to the China line and have to be sad about that. That's what we do.
That's what
It's
we
just
do.
a thing.
I know. I comfort myself with knowing that Xuan Yi has a drama in which she is the lead with Xiaozhan. So I was like already planning to watch this drama, and now I have like a double reason to watch it. It's called Duolo Continent for anybody who also wants to watch it. It's spelled like duo luo, but that's not how it's pronounced.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like late. Our friend Jenna was saying like, I feel bad. I feel like we're late.
True.
Because I have been like buying random WJSN B-sides since like 2019. Like I've been observing them from the side, and I feel bad that I haven't like jumped in until now. Because I think that they have all of the things that I want in a girl group. Their vocalists are amazing. Their choreography is really interesting. They have like a very clear, we decided while watching their stuff, other than their second single that they released, which is Weird and Out of Place, they have a very consistent vibe, and they have like tropes that they follow in their like choreography or in their like music video
Yeah, they have like
sets that I found
signature
refreshing.
moves that I love. Yeah.
And yeah, so we spent all weekend like watching getting caught up on all their music, and now I'm
started
starting
from their
my reality
debut.
show journey.
Oh, you started a reality show?
Yes,
Which one
I
did you
started a
start?
reality show. I started their first one, and it's called like it's called Do You Like Girls, I think is what the actual title is. But I started that one.
Okay.
And yeah, I have not picked a bias yet, but in case anybody is curious, like I'm attached to Unso already, like a lot. I think she's really funny. And like Dawon and Dayoung have amazing voice. Like the voices, I feel like it'll take me a while to pick a favorite voice, but like, fuck, they have such good singers.
They have
I
such
don't know,
good
I'm just really on
singers.
board. They really remind me. I thought they did an It's Live. Here's a rec. More recs. This is all recs. They did one of those It's Live, the YouTube channel that has the band and does the good videos.
The big sound stage.
They did an It's Live as a whole group during Unnatural promotions, and they sang Baby Baby, which is one of my favorite Girls' Generation songs. And I cried when I heard it because it's so perfect. And I feel like they have that. Like I don't want to compare girl groups to each other because they're all unique and different and they don't need to compete. But like they have a Girls' Generation like vibe about them that I really appreciate. And their
I feel like they
music-
have that kind of magic that Girls' Generation had that a lot of other girl groups have not had since.
Sure.
And part of that comes in like the like matchy of their outfits and like the sheer fucking number of them. But I think there's like I don't know, there's like a sparkliness in their music.
Yeah, and I really like it. So I'm sure I know of a few listeners who are probably just jumping up and down right now. So if anybody's excited to know that we are on the WJSN train, and they're great.
Yeah, and their earlier comeback this year, Unnatural, is really fun. I like it a lot. The live stages are fantastic. Like Shannon said, they are such good vocalists. I saw like a tweet or something that was like, when Wonho said that WJSN has 13 lead vocalists, like, he wasn't wrong. And I was like, he wasn't wrong. Like, they are all good singers. Because even though like Eshi, for example, is a rapper, but like she sings a lot in WJSN The Black. So like they're all good singers. Dawon right now is my favorite voice, and she's the one I find myself looking for. I think she's so beautiful. But yeah, I still don't have all of their names nailed down, so I need to practice.
I think that's where I'm at too, where like I know all of their faces as different faces, and it's like I know them, but they also have a lot of names in this group that are like names I haven't, like, they're not as familiar of names, so I feel like I'm not grabbing them.
Yeah,
as
it's not that
easily.
the names, like, only Dawon and Dayoung have similar names. Otherwise, all the names are very different. But they are names that I have not heard before, or that I am not like familiar with. So, and they don't have a lot of, well, they do have some stage names, but their stage names are not like Eshi's the only one who has a stage name that is like not a Korean name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, we're having
So
a
that's been
great
great.
time diving into this cosmic girls cosmos. We love it when they do their Lisa Frank universe.
Yeah,
music
Lisa
videos.
Frank universe stuff. Everyone with a matching skirt. The choreo has a lot of grabbing someone else's boobs. These are all fun
like doing
things.
other people's arms.
These are all fun things, and I think it's great. And I know that Monsta X loves them.
And a bounce.
I love
That was
them.
it.
And,
The
yes, and the
bounce.
bounces.
The bounces.
Yeah, so WJSN, come,
Get on board.
Come join us if you haven't yet.
And if you haven't checked out Easy or Unnatural, both of those highly recommend. Any of the live performances from that YouTube. The WJSN also has another subunit called Chokomi, which is the trot unit. We've mentioned them before. They do kind of like orange caramel style songs, or they did, for that like one little thing that they did. But they also Chokomi went on the live as well, and they covered Boa's Number One, and it's beautiful. They do like a gorgeous like 4-part harmony. It's so lovely. Maybe it's 5-part. I don't remember. But anyway, it's really good because they're great singers.
Yeah. So that's our joint recommendation, is come get on the Ujung train with us.
Yeah. And if you haven't already listened to Taemin's album, make sure you do that before next week. Do your homework for our Taemin deep dive. Our baby's going to the military.
Yes.
And we will be sad.
I'm sad. I can't think about it, but I'm excited to talk about Nothing But Him next
too.
week.
Give him his
on
due.
both the free show and the Patreon. It's all Taemin next week. So make sure you tune in for that.
Teaser for the Patreon, we're going to do a music video deep dive because we have the ability to do video episodes for our Patreon. So make sure that you sign up so you can join us.
Patreon.com/AMAKPopPod for just $3 American a month. You can get on board with that. And I say American dollars because I always feel bad when you sweet, precious Canadian listeners sign up, because the email I get is like, someone just joined at the $18 tier. And I'm like, oh my God, Canadian money. Like, I would never charge anyone $18. So bless y'all for doing it anyway.
Wow. We have more than just one tier. So that's 18. Yeah, $3 American is not equivalent to 18 Canadian dollars.
No,
We're
it's not.
implying that. Just to
No,
clarify.
I was just making things up. I'm just saying I know that like the Canadian listeners get charged more, and I always feel bad about it.
No, I just remember that one time that we talked about something and I kept being like, $1 billion, but it was billion won instead.
Right.
So it's just always on my mind.
You're afraid of saying money wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anyway.
No, our tiers are $1, $3, and $7 American dollars. If you want to join our Patreon. And there's like 10 whole Patreon episodes up now because we've been doing it so long that if you join today, you'll just be buried in content and it will pay for itself so fast you don't even know.
Yeah, you get to access all the previous episodes whenever you sign up. So go.
Go do that.
And if this episode made you think of a misheard lyric, remember to email that to us so that we can use it for our part 2. amakpoppod@gmail.com. And that's 2 P's for pop pod.
Pop Pod. That is also our handle, AMA Kpop Pod, for Twitter and Instagram. And then both of those places have a link tree, link.tre or linktr.ee/AMA Kpop. And that has links to our Discord, which will like link you straight into the Discord to join it. Our YouTube page where we make playlists. We have a Spotify where we make playlists. And all those things are linked very easily in that link tree. You can call us 181-AMA-KPOP5. You can send us a letter.
P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California 90026.
You can go shopping at kstar.online. Use your promo code kstar with AMA at checkout for a free gift. And I feel like that is all of our pluggies. Is there anything
can we
I'm thinking
start
of?
plugging KPSN?
Yes, of course.
If you were with us last summer, a phenomenal woman from Mac G Productions put on this incredible K-pop podcast convention because KCON had gotten canceled for quarantine purposes. So we did this first of its kind podcast convention that was super fun. It's basically like it was a full day of events. We got to participate in a little Q&A, and then we had a live episode, which we will be able to do again this year. It's happening in July this year, and it's actually going to be 2 days. So it will be the 10th and 11th, and it will be on a different platform than last year, but the platform that we're using is going to be pretty cool in the sense that it will be a little bit more like a convention floor.
Like an actual convention where you can walk, quote unquote, walk into the other rooms. And go to different sessions.
There will be
really
a lot of different sessions and a lot of different like games and activities and like lobby things. You know, like when you walk by, you see one of those random dance. Like you could almost essentially walk into one of those, but it won't be dance. It'll be like trivia or something.
Sure.
And then there's actual events, and the way that the whole thing is organized, you can like make your own agenda, etc. It should be really fun. So where can people find more information and tickets to join us?
You can go to tinyurl.com/KPSNFun21. That's KPSNFUN21. And tickets will remain $5 American until May 31st at midnight. So if you want to come, buy your tickets now because they're going to get more expensive. And also, if you were listening to this and think this sound, and also all the money is going to a mental health charity, by the way.
Yes, it is for a good cause.
And if this sounds fun to you and you would like to help or participate, I know that Ashley, the organizer, is looking for volunteers. And if you volunteer, you would be in charge of like a single podcast session where you would be keeping an eye on the comments, helping out the host, like just being, the help in the room. And if you volunteer to do that, you get free admission to the rest of the festival. So if you are interested, reach out to us and we'll connect you with the event organizers. I know that a couple of our listeners who have their own podcasts have already reached out and will also be participating. If you are listening to this and you may call you content in some way and want to participate in this festival as a sponsor or as a participant, let us know and we'll connect you with the host and see if there's anything we could do to get you in now or what have you. But it's going to be a really fun time. And I hope you all can go because it's going to be so many Hallyu-casts and things from around the world doing fun things for 2 whole days.
Yeah, if you came last year, I do hope that you're able to join us again, because it will be like bigger and better than before. And I know that there's also been a push to include some more multilingual podcasts. I think that there's going to be like a little session in Spanish, and I know that our dear Mara and her new Arabic podcast, first K-pop podcast in Arabic, they will be participating as well. So there will be like a lot of really fun things. The scope is bigger this year, so come on down.
Yeah.
Get your tickets.
That's again, tinyurl.com/KPSN Fun21 for tickets.
Yes, and it will be July 10th and 11th.
Alrighty. Well, that is it for this week. Thank you as always for listening, and we will see you next week to take a deep look at the career of our sweet baby cheese.
Our dear boy, Timmy.
Before he does his little military service. And we'll try to hold it together.
We'll do our best, but no promises.
No promises. All right, until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.